Hey everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. The movie scene starts with a bright-eyed nanny who accidentally becomes an expectant mother. She discovers a target on her back and how the wealthy use money to get away with murder. After her shift at a restaurant, Daisy urges her coworker, Gina, to check out the nearby scene where a woman jumped off a building. Despite her hesitations, Gina goes with her, complaining about how her friend likes to put her nose into such events. The following day, Daisy meets with Martha, who is looking to hire her for the wealthy family she works for. Not long after her interview, Martha takes the new nanny to meet her employer, Roxanne, who's pregnant with twins. This surprises Daisy since she wasn't told she'd be caring for twins. Roxanne complains that Martha didn't clarify this, so to compensate, she offers the nanny twice the agreed salary, much to Daisy's delight. After this, Daisy gets settled in her new room, which is located in front of the bedroom of the woman's older daughter. This was specifically requested by Roxanne, who wants their nanny to be nearby in case they need her in the middle of the night. Soon enough, Daisy meets Roxanne's daughter, Nami, whom she'll mainly be responsible for until the twins arrive. After arriving from school, the girl heads to her room, making the nanny wonder if she won't greet her mother first. Nami explains that she's supposed to change clothes and wash up before seeing her pregnant mother. With this, Daisy tries to help her, but Nami declares that she can take care of herself. Despite the kid's coldness to her, Daisy smiles, making Nami soften towards her a bit. During dinner, William returns home. Nami happily greets him and introduces her new nanny, while Martha explains that the woman was referred to her by a neighbor whom Daisy previously worked for. The man merely gives the new lady a curt greeting before heading to his bedroom to check on his wife. Moments later, Daisy arrives with some wine that William asked for. After she leaves, Roxanne tells her husband that Daisy studied early childhood development in college, but dropped out. William questions if this is enough credentials to raise kids, but his wife assures him that the woman seems to like being around children. Finally done with work, Daisy settles on her bed, only for Nami to call out to her. She asks her nanny to keep her door open so she won't feel alone at night, and Daisy complies. The following day, Daisy delivers breakfast to William while he's playing the piano in the pool house. She admires the music, but doesn't interrupt him and leaves. After William leaves for work, Daisy is tasked with caring both for his wife and daughter. When the man returns, he catches her cleaning their bathtub, which puts her in an awkward position. He eyes the nanny with interest while his wife is mere inches away, so Daisy finishes up and leaves quietly. Days later, Daisy and the family head to their beach house for the weekend. At night, the nanny plays with Nami in the pool, unaware that William is watching her again. To ignore his urges, the man invites his wife into the water just as Nami decides to rest. However, Roxanne gets uncomfortable and insists on going to bed instead. The married couple tries to get intimate in their room, but again, Roxanne gets uncomfortable and refuses to continue. After she goes to sleep, her unsatisfied husband heads to Daisy's room and offers the confused nanny a drink. Without even exchanging words, the man initiates intimacy with the new lady, and the woman obliges. Over the next few days, Daisy can't help but feel guilty when she's around Roxanne, more so when she catches William glancing at her. Despite this, she remains a dutiful nanny with Nami, with whom she's formed a bond. After days of resisting temptations, however, William soon visits Daisy's room to spend a passionate night with her. Unbeknownst to them, Martha is awakened by their voices, so she heads up and discovers the pair together. During their encounter, Daisy hesitates and asks the man to stop, but he continues until he's satisfied. The following morning, Martha doesn't say anything as they prepare breakfast, even sending Daisy to her routine of bringing William's meal to the pool house. This time, the nanny stops and watches the man play the piano. To her surprise, he leaves a check for her in exchange for keeping their passionate night a secret. Shocked, Daisy heads back to the house and weeps as she realizes that the man had treated her like a woman of the night. Martha sees this and, knowing what happened, advises the woman to just carry on with the day. That evening, Martha admits that she sympathizes with how, in their job, they must learn to take it all in and get through the day. She shares that she and her mom used to work for Roxanne's mother before they became wealthy. Fortunately for the woman, Roxanne married rich and achieved living like a queen like she always wanted. While studying the other woman's body, Martha notices something and asks if the nanny has had lovers. Daisy reveals that she hasn't since she thought it was a waste of time, and this makes Martha suspicious. The following day, Martha meets with Roxanne's mother, Esther, and shares how William slept with the new nanny. Esther blames her former housekeeper for hiring a pretty one, but Martha defends that it was her daughter who chose Daisy out of the applicants she gave. Martha then reveals that Daisy is unaware that she's pregnant, having noticed the changes in the nanny's body. Given this, she thinks Daisy is too oblivious to have planned on conceiving William's child for money. Esther doubts this since the nanny still slept with her son-in-law. Still, Martha blames Roxanne for being oblivious to her husband's urges and hiring an attractive nanny to tempt him. This makes Esther complain about how her daughter might get in trouble if she doesn't watch over her life. Meanwhile, Daisy meets up with Gina and tells her about her relationship with her employer. The nanny convinces herself that it was romantic and even considers the check a gift. However, Gina wonders how she can be around the man's wife after sleeping with him. Daisy shrugs it off, defending that it's done already, so she can't change it. This isn't the case for the rest of the family, however, as Esther has Daisy clean the chandelier when she later visits. The woman then stages an accident to make the nanny fall off the ladder. Desperate, the woman hangs from the chandelier but ultimately falls. This sends her to the hospital. With the nanny out of the way, Esther reveals William's unfaithfulness to her daughter and how Daisy is carrying his child. Soon, Martha reports to them that Daisy only suffered a concussion and a bruised pelvis, from which she can heal in a couple of days. This pisses Esther off as she hoped that the fall would cause Daisy to lose her condition. With this, she orders Martha to settle things with the nanny. After ending the call, Esther promises her daughter that she'll iron things out. Tired of her meddling, Roxanne asks her mother to leave her family alone. However, the woman reminds her that she wanted to marry rich, and to keep her marriage, she has to bear with the drama that it includes. Elsewhere, Martha visits Daisy and pretends that Esther is seeking forgiveness in the form of another check with a large sum. The housekeeper explains that the wealthy believe they can just throw money at any problem. To workers like them, it's not a bad trade-off, so she should just swallow it up and take what she can. Despite the large sum in her hands, however, Daisy is appalled by the idea. Martha soon arrives home, and Roxanne scolds the woman for spreading gossip about her husband without telling her first. Before they can discuss this further, William returns. The man soon starts packing for his business trip, and Martha helps him. However, Roxanne is still holding a grudge against the older woman, so she starts throwing rude remarks at her. Because of this, Martha later drinks in her room, ranting to herself about how ungrateful Roxanne is when she was the one who practically raised her. She also criticizes Esther for pretending to be her friend and promising her many things, only to keep her around to continue serving her daughter. Drunkenly, she declares that fate will have its way with the family who stole her life. The following day, Daisy finally learns that she's pregnant. Shell-shocked, the woman later admits to Gina that she's considering getting rid of her condition. However, her friend advises her to leave instead. She's already received a large sum, so she can take care of her child on her own. Worried, Gina joins Daisy when she returns to her boss residence to care for her. She even buys supplemental milk to aid in her pregnancy. While she's resting, Esther approaches the woman and apologizes for causing the accident, though in truth, she wishes that the fall had killed the nanny. Gina eventually goes to work, leaving her friend at the vengeful family's mercy. As she sleeps that night, Roxanne sneaks into her room with a golf club, pondering about ending the woman's life. However, Martha catches her doing this, so she abandons her plans and leaves. On another night, Daisy confides in her coworker about feeling uncomfortable around the house and considers quitting. Martha, hoping to spare Daisy further trouble, encourages her to leave. Unbeknownst to them, Roxanne is contemplating firing Daisy. Her mother points out that as long as Daisy has William's child, Roxanne will always feel threatened. Roxanne seeks her mother's advice. Later, Daisy approaches Roxanne and announces her resignation. Unexpectedly, Roxanne slaps Daisy, revealing she knows about the affair. Esther orders Daisy to end her pregnancy and leave, even offering her a larger sum of money to do so. Distraught, Daisy cries in bed, regretting not considering Roxanne's feelings before getting involved with William. Martha, the housekeeper, consoles her, blaming William and advising Daisy to accept the money and move on. As Martha turns to leave, Daisy apologizes. Martha tells her not to apologize or let the family control her, urging her to stand up for herself. Meanwhile, Roxanne doubts Daisy will terminate the pregnancy, suspecting Daisy's love for children. She and her mother devise a more concrete solution. That evening, Nami, Roxanne's daughter, visits Daisy and tells her to rest while she keeps watch. Nami confides that she knows Esther pushed Daisy off the ladder, having overheard a conversation between Roxanne and Esther. Shocked, Daisy thanks Nami while hiding her anger. The next morning, Roxanne fetches illicit medicine from a market and mixes it into the milk in Daisy's room. Martha notices Roxanne leaving Daisy's room but is ordered by her employer to move Daisy to a room on the lower floor before she can investigate. That evening, Daisy packs up to move and drinks her milk, unaware of the tampering. Nami catches her packing, and Daisy explains that a new nanny will soon occupy her room. Daisy reassures Nami that she's fine and expecting a child, which excites Nami and makes Daisy reflect on her desires. The following day, Daisy tells Martha she's decided to keep her child. Martha supports her and informs Esther. Meanwhile, William arrives at the hospital to meet his newborn twins. When he kisses his wife, she bites him, declaring she knows about his affair. William, not wanting a scene, leaves. Later, Daisy experiences severe stomach pain. Desperate, she confronts William in his bathtub, revealing her pregnancy and the bribe to terminate it. She demands he do something as her pain intensifies. William walks away, leaving Daisy in agony as the water turns red. The next day, William checks on the sick Daisy and decides to help her and their child. When Esther and Roxanne return, Daisy is sent to the hospital again. Esther orders Martha to pack Daisy's things, believing she won't return. William confronts Esther, who tries to convince him Daisy was already pregnant when she arrived. However, William knows the effort to drug Daisy wouldn't have been made if the child wasn't his. Esther confesses, hoping to spare her daughter from William's wrath, but he berates her for harming his child. Martha visits Daisy, revealing that William had her drink tested, discovering the medication used. She knows Roxanne did it, criticizing the rich for thinking they can get away with anything. Daisy realizes Roxanne and Esther knew about her pregnancy before she did. Martha admits she told them, and Daisy slaps her. Despite this, Martha offers a check from Roxanne, urging Daisy to move on. Daisy refuses, vowing vengeance. Martha supports her decision. One night, William tries to reconcile with Roxanne, but she refuses his advances. Martha lets Daisy into the house. Daisy waits until Roxanne visits her daughter before sneaking into their bedroom to take the twins. William catches her, taking his son from her hands. Daisy points out she doesn't harm children. Coaxed by William, Daisy surrenders the child and smiles as she walks away. The family gathers, suspecting Daisy is still in the house. Roxanne begs Martha for help, but Martha announces she's quitting, arguing she's given her life to them and received nothing but handouts in return. She calls them soulless for shamelessly throwing money at everything. Nami spots Daisy upstairs. Daisy announces she lost her child because of William. Ashamed, Roxanne tries to silence her, but Daisy declares she can't forget their atrocities. William tearfully begs for a chance to make amends. Daisy, however, decides nothing can fix the situation. She apologizes to Nami before using the chandelier to end her life in front of the horrified family, setting herself on fire. Martha tearfully watches Daisy burn, realizing this was her plan for revenge. She takes her own advice and leaves the house. Months later, the family celebrates Nami's birthday at their beach home. Her parents drunkenly sing while decorations lay scattered. They continue their indulgence, refusing to acknowledge the consequences of their actions.